Get ready to tee off on an adventure through the lush greens and stunning landscapes of Miami's top 10 public golf courses. Miami is renowned for its beautiful beaches, vibrant culture, and lively nightlife. However, it's also a golfer's paradise, boasting an array of top-notch public golf courses that cater to players of all skill levels. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting, Miami has something to offer every golfer. Here, we'll explore the top 10 public golf courses in Miami. So, let's get started. 10. Country Club of Miami West Course. If you want to remember some old Miami golf memories, go to the Country Club of Miami. It used to be a fancy private club where famous people played golf. Now it's open to everyone in Miami. It used to host a big golf tournament called the Eastern Open on the PGA Tour. Gleason, who lived nearby, often played there and brought his famous friends like Bob Hope and Bing Crosby. Arnold Palmer, a famous golfer, was the first head pro there. There are two sets of golf courses, the West and East courses. The West one is longer, over 7,000 yards. In 1991, it hosted a big golf event called the PGA Tour Champions Qualifying School. Both courses were designed by a famous architect named Robert Trent Jones Sr. They've been changed and improved over time. 9. Pembroke Lakes Golf and Racquet Club. Owned by the city of Pembroke Pines, this golf course is great. It opened in 1969 and got a big makeover in 2007, spending $7 million to make it even better. Even though it's not the longest course at just over 6,800 yards, it's still tough for all kinds of players. And the best part? It's always kept in top shape. They use this special kind of grass called Paspalum Supreme on the fairways, have these cool coquina waste bunkers, and a big practice area with everything you need to get better, like a chipping green, practice bunker, grass range, and a huge putting green. Plus, there's lots of water to deal with, no matter which of the 6 sets of tees you choose. But wait, there's more. Besides golf, there are also 14 tennis courts, with 5 of them being clay. And if you get hungry after all that playing, you can grab a bite at the Club 19 restaurant. 8. Miami Beach Golf Club. Miami Beach Golf Club is like a little gem sitting between the big Atlantic Ocean and Biscayne Bay, not too far from South Beach. It might cost a bit more to play here, but it's worth it. The grass is always kept nice, the way the holes are set up is cool, and the views are amazing. This golf course has been around for more than 100 years. Around 20 years ago, it got a fancy makeover that cost $11 million. They did all sorts of things like making the greens higher up, putting in new sand traps, and fixing up the grass. Plus, there's a bunch of water all over the place like lakes and ponds, which makes things even more interesting. Oh, and let's not forget about the tricky little greens that go up and down, making it a real challenge to play. 7. Normandy Shores Golf Club. Let's talk about Normandy Shores Golf Club. This place has been around since way back in 1928. It has a really interesting history. During World War II, it was used as a training spot for the US Army. After that, it got a makeover, and some famous golfers like Sam Snead, Arnold Palmer, and Peter Thompson used to play here regularly. But in 2007, an architect named Arthur Hills gave the course a big upgrade. Since then, people in Miami have loved playing here. The golf course sits on an island that was made by digging up land a long time ago. Hills and his team did a bunch of cool stuff, like putting in paspalum grass on the fairways, fixing up the greens, bringing back the lakes, and adding new ways to water the grass and drain excess water. Nowadays, the course is famous for hosting the South Beach International Amateur Tournament every year. One of the most famous parts of the course is the 17th hole. It's a tough one, measuring 240 yards, and it's surrounded by water, trees, and sand traps. It's a real challenge for golfers. 6. Crandon Golf at Key Biscayne. Crandon Golf at Key Biscayne, located in Miami, is known as one of the top public golf courses around. It sits in a stunning spot, surrounded by 7 salty lakes, and offers gorgeous views of Biscayne Bay and the Miami skyline. Designed by Robert Von Hager and Bruce Devlin, this golf course is a real gem. It winds its way through mangrove forests, palm trees, and beautiful lakes, where you might spot some amazing creatures like crocodiles, herons, white ibises, pelicans, and big, colorful iguanas. It first opened its doors in 1972, but in 1993, it got a major makeover by Von Hager himself. From 1987 to 2004, Crandon Golf hosted a special event by the PGA Tour champions, making it a favorite spot for golfers and spectators alike. 5. Trump National Doral Golf Club. Red Tiger Hansa made some big changes to another golf course at Trump Doral. This time, he worked on the Robert von Hager course, which has been around since 1964 and is loved by many people who play at Doral regularly. The Red Tiger course got its name from Jackie Gleason because it was tough for him to play. It used to be hard, but now it's much prettier after the changes. There's water on 17 of the holes, lots of hills, and small wavy greens with white sand bunkers around them. There are lots of different types of holes on the course. For example, the 10th hole is a par 5, where you need to hit a long shot uphill, and then another tough shot to set up for a short shot onto the green, which has water in front of it. The 16th hole is a par 3 that's good for players who can hit a curved shot, because most of the water is on the left and in front of the green. And the 18th hole is a par 5, with water on both sides of the fairway and behind the green. 4. JW Marriott Turnberry Resort and Spa Sofa Course. The Sofa Course is the bigger and more famous of the two golf courses at Turnberry Isle and Country Club. It's been around since 1971 and has hosted many LPGA Tour events. It was designed by Robert Trent Jones Sr. and got a makeover in 2007 by Ray Floyd, a former golf pro. Even though it's usually only for club members, guests staying at JW Marriott Turnberry Resort and Spa can play there too. The course can be made long, over 7,000 yards, which is longer than the other course, the Miller Course, by 600 yards. It's named after Donald Sofa, a developer in South Florida. The most famous hole is probably the last one, a 571-yard, par 5 with an island green and a big waterfall at the end. 3. Trump National Doral Golf Club. The Golden Palm course, Golden Palm, like the Blue Monster and the Red Tiger at Trump Doral, was also fixed up by Hans. It's a challenging golf course with both open and narrow holes, lots of water, and bunkers placed close to the front with rough grass behind them. It's best to avoid hitting your ball into the water, bunkers, or the Golden Palms, which the course is named after. The greens are also tricky with lots of slopes, making it tough for your short game and putting skills. Overall, it's a tough course, almost as challenging as the Blue Monster. It starts with a long par 4 hole and ends with the course's signature hole, the 18th, which has 3 bunkers on the right side of the fairway and an island green that slopes towards the front, helping to keep your shots on the green. 2. Biltmore Golf Course. Playing golf at the Biltmore Golf Course in Coral Gables near Miami is special. It was designed by a famous golf architect named Donald Ross. A guy named Brian Silver fixed it up about 10 years ago, and now it's a beautiful place to play golf. When you hit the ball off the tee, it's not too hard, but you might have to deal with water sometimes. The greens on the course are designed by Ross too, which means they're tricky with slopes. Try to keep your ball below the hole if you can. The Biltmore Golf Course is also where the famous Jim McLean Golf School is located. The golf course is set up around the fancy Biltmore Hotel. The hotel looks amazing with its Mediterranean-style buildings, fancy gardens, and a cool tower called the Moorish Giralda Tower. 1. Trump National Doral Golf Club. The Blue Monster Course. There's this golf spot called the Doral Open, which used to be super popular on the PGA Tour and World Golf Championships. The last hole, a tough one, is well liked and even got rated as one of the top 100 holes in the world by a big magazine. The golf course was originally designed by Dick Wilson, but it got even better after a big renovation in 2105 by a famous architect named Gil Hanse. They made it longer and moved some of the sand traps to make it harder for modern players. They call it the Blue Monster because there's a lot of water on most of the holes, with big lakes next to the fairways and greens. The 18th hole is one of them. It curves slightly to the left, and there's a lake that comes into play when you hit the ball and when you're trying to get it on the green. In 2004, an Australian player named Craig Perry made a great shot to win a tournament there. The Blue Monster is just one of the courses at this resort. Former President Donald Trump bought the whole resort in 2012 when it was in financial trouble. Even though the Blue Monster lost a big tournament in 2016, it's now hosting a different golf event called the Livy Golf Invitational Miami. And there you have it, folks, Miami's top 10 public golf courses, each offering a unique blend of challenge and beauty. So what are you waiting for? Plan your next tee time and experience the magic of golfing in Miami firsthand. And remember to like, subscribe, and share to keep the golfing community thriving.